Today we're going to take a quick look at the Aqua Pots and how they've been doing. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and if you were watching us at all this winter or early spring, you would have seen a video of Ben planting up all of these gorgeous Aqua Pots that are in our landscape here. So we're going to take a look today and just see how they are doing. For those of you who are not familiar with Aqua Pots are self-watering planters. So there's a water reservoir in here that usually only has to be refilled about every 5 to 7 days or so, depending on the plants that are in your planter. Here we've got some gorgeous super bells planted with some jet black sweet potato vine, that kufi of vermillionaire, and then we did tuck a few of the mocha yellow begonias in here as well. We weren't sure how they would do in the full sun, but they are doing fantastic. And that was actually something we found last year. We kind of did them as a trial and were pleasantly surprised with how well they did when they got sun from about noon until the end of the day. Loving that mix of the yellow, oranges, and blacks. And for those of you who've watched me for any amount of time, you know that oranges typically are not a favorite of mine, but this combination is just looking so fantastic. In the ground, we have our Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, along with our Macedonia Gold Dust, which has been a favorite of ours for several years. And when you find something you love, you just continue to do it year after year. This pot is quite surprisingly interesting to me. I'm very surprised at how this creeping Jenny is just kind of poking through in several areas. Typically, Lasmachia or creeping Jenny is going to kind of be like a big chunk up front. That's that golden foliage you're seeing. But really, it has dispersed itself really nicely and just kind of not too heavily in any place in this planter. We have in here the Supertunia Tierra Pink, which is doing gorgeous. You can see this plant is a monster, how fast it's filling out this container. We tried to tuck a few of the Broalia Flirtation in, but man, they are quickly getting swallowed up by this Tierra Pink Supertunia. This is going to be crazy to watch as the season goes on. I mean, it's so huge now. I can only imagine what it's going to continue to do throughout the summer. We really haven't been that warm yet here in West Michigan. So to have that much growth this quickly, it's going to be a crazy one to watch. This Aqua Pot here has some Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink, along with the Osteospermum. I think this one is, oh boy, something Sunrise, looking really pretty. And then we've got Salvia in here. I think this is the Rockin' or Unplugged Blue, actually. And then in the back, we've got more of that jet black sweet potato vine, which is going to trail over. And then in all of our planters, we do these palms, which are a tropical plant, but we just like them because they get so tall. And we love to watch them as they blow in the breeze. So this here, everything is staying pretty well behaved. They're all playing nicely. Although, as I'm looking here, we've got some sweet potato vine Medusa that is kind of getting buried by that Vista Hot Pink. So we'll see if it makes its way out this summer or not. But it's really fun when you're planting up containers to see what they look like at each point in time in the season. When they begin, they have a lot of color, a lot of different varieties, at least ours do. And then as the summer goes on, there's usually a variety or two that really put on the most growth and kind of take over the containers. But that's what's fun about planting containers, is that they do have different looks at different points in the season. I love this one with the Dichondra Silver Falls. You can never go wrong with Silver Falls. This is such a great accent plant. I love that silver color, and it looks fantastic up against that blue of the Aqua Pot. We also have the Super Bells Pink Lemonade, and this is a fun one because it has different colors that go on. It's got the pinks, the yellows, and even a little bit of orange. So it's just fun to watch as those flowers transition through with different colors. We have some geraniums in here, and the geraniums are trying to say, hey, we're in this pot, you know, see us too. I think they'll do okay though. I think once they really start putting on their flowers, there's a lot of buds. I think the geraniums will really stand out as well. The Rockin' Deep Purple Salvia. We love these because the hummingbirds visit them often. So anything we can do to attract the hummingbirds into the gardens is definitely a great added bonus when choosing the plants that we use. Next, we have our weekender hanging baskets, which is a trio of 3 hanging baskets. These are also self-watering, so these water reservoirs will go anywhere from 3 to 5 days, depending on how hot it is, how much wind we get. And in here, these look like they've kind of taken a little bit of a beating from the wind. We have the Supertunia Mini Vista White, the Supertunia Tierra Pink, and then more of that jet black sweet potato vine. So at first we were a little concerned that we weren't going to see any pink because they were very white in color, but now that that Tierra Pink is putting on some growth, it's making its presence known and the color is poking through. So those two will be fun to watch as the summer goes on to see just how they fill out and how they look as we continue to go. Here is the matching pot to the one on the other side of the entrance. So these are really the only 2 that match. Everything else is different and unique. So let's go check out some more of the different and unique combinations that we've done. Another tropical palm in there. This one has the Osteosperma purple, along with the tropical sunrise super bells. It's got some angelonia in there, angel face white. And then I think along the back, yes, we've got some of the Blue My Mind as well. I love that blue and that purple together. It's such complementary colors. So this one's not quite as trailing as some of the others, but I think as summer goes on, that tropical sunrise is going to continue to just trail down on the front of that pot. Making our way over to our fence bed, we have 2 pots, and these 2 pots, actually we've got 4 pots, and these are matching pots as well, I suppose. So yeah. All right, so in these pots here, we do the Thunbergia, the orange appeal, and then we put some really tall bamboo stakes in there to let it climb up. So there's a lot of buds on there. So this is a heat-loving plant. So it definitely takes heat to get the flowers of Thunbergia to really showing. There's some Terenia in there as well, the beautiful purple Terenia. And then also some of the Portulaca or moss roses, which hopefully they continue to show throughout the summer. One thing though, that Thunbergia vine creates a lot of foliage and it kind of covers up a lot of stuff. I personally am not a Thunbergia fan, and that's because you get so much leafy green with not a lot of reward in its flowers. I know a lot of people are going to say, Heidi, I love that plant. It's my favorite plant. But I'm just saying what I see here. A lot of green, not a lot of orange flower for this container. Heading down to the next 2, these did fantastic last year, so we repeated them again this year. This has the Supertunia Latte, which is a gorgeous white and almost black colored Supertunia. The thing I like about Latte is no matter what you plant with it, it takes on that color. So we have it with some red. This is the Surefire Cordial Cherry Begonia. And because it's with red, it kind of takes on a little bit of a red hue in the veining of that Supertunia. We also have in here the Emerald Isle Alocasia. It's getting buried, but hopefully it's going to push its way through. It did last year anyways, and give us just this gorgeous thriller in this container combination. Let's go check out the matching pairs. This one here is still doing pretty good too. Still that Emerald Isle Alocasia is having a hard time getting through all the foliage here of the begonia and of the Supertunias. Another one that's got the Thunbergia in it. And this one too, this one I guess maybe has a little bit more flower going on. Definitely more flower going up the post. So, I don't know. They are heat loving, and the more heat they get, the better they flower. So it might just be it's been a little cool yet for these pots to really put on their show of color. Then as we head out to the pathway, we have Snow Princess along with watermelon geraniums, and then the Prince Tut grass. The next one is Alocasia coffee cups. We had a really, I don't want to say really late frost, but we had some pretty cold nights. And a lot of the annuals, we put them out maybe a little too early. Not historically, but too early based off the weather. So a lot of our annuals kind of got affected by the cold weather. So they kind of look a little bit sad. But once we warm up, they're going to put on new growth and they're going to look better. But that is somewhat what we're seeing a little bit in some of these annuals. It's just, it was cold this spring. Superbells Carolina, and then lemon coral sedum. And as I mentioned, the coffee cups calicasia. Here's another matching pot. I do love how that orange really stands out good, especially against the green of the grass and the blue of the pot. This is a pretty sweet combination. It's got the salvia blue suede shoes, along with the Superbells Mini Vista Yellow and the Superbells Persimmon. I love the color of persimmon. It's just such a vibrant coral with yellow. And that yellow and the Mini Vista Yellow, it kind of brings out the yellow center of the persimmon. And then the blue suede shoes, I mean, that is just gorgeous, gorgeous blue blooms. Another one the hummingbirds love. And then as we head continuing towards the waterfall, we have Supertunia Vista Paradise with some grass trying to make its way through. So definitely the Supertunias went crazy this year and are stealing the show. That grass, honestly, I don't think it's going to ever really find its prime time to shine because the Supertunias are just really taking it over. So it was a great idea. It could have been a good look. Next year what we'll have to do is plant the grass earlier and plant the petunias later. That way it gives that grass more time to really put on growth and put on a show of color. Just a few more planters we're going to head over to see over there on our patio. So let's go take a look. All right, let's take a look at these and see. This one is looking very wind beaten. This has the Supertunia Limoncello along with the Supertunia Midnight and then some white sun patience. It's either too windy here or this pot might not be draining because it almost looks like these plants are too wet. That's kind of when you see this brown going on, it's because the plants are too wet. So we'll have to have them come out and take a look at this pot. And I wanted to show you it because, I mean, I wanted you to know that even here, not everything is perfect in our gardens. We, trial and error, and sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. So I'll have to have the growers come out and see once what's going on with that pot, why it's got so much brown going on. The next pot, this is kind of a fun one. This has the wire vine, the big leaf wire vine, along with the apricot begonias. Here's a dead leaf, we'll get rid of that. And then the Senecio angel wings. Don't those angel wings look so gorgeous? And then again, we're trying the Emerald Isle alocasia, but again, it's just not growing fast enough for the plants around it. So we'll continue to watch and see how that one does as the summer goes on. Gorgeous Supertunia bubblegum. You can't have a garden without at least one plant of bubblegum. And in this container, there's a lot of plants of bubblegum. Also, there's the Lasmachia Creeping Jenny vine that's going to hang over. And then they did plant a hydrangea in here as well. And I'm not sure which one it is, but oh my gosh, it was started off as a gallon. And these bubblegum are just taking over this hydrangea. So I know we'll get some flowers eventually, but man, that just goes to show how aggressive bubblegum can be in containers and in the landscape. Here's another container of the same thing. And we'll keep going to see the matching planters. Again, that wire vine is doing fantastic. The elephant ear, the Senecio angel wing is doing great. Alocasia, it's working its way. Here we go. This one here looks gorgeous. So I do think it's a drainage issue in that original pot as to why it's not doing good. Because this pot here really looks good from all angles. We're not seeing any of that brown yucky going on. So it's not the plants, it's the pot. And I think the plug in these self-watering containers may be plugged up so that it's not able to drain off any excess water, because really this one is looking fantastic. I hope you like the preview of our planters that we planted up earlier this winter. So kind of just to show you where they're at, and we'll continue to update them as the summer goes along, and we'll see which plants win the fight and which ones lose. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.